Hey guys! You're probably asking me, Elias, why are you so excited? And I'll tell you the reason why. I received something in the post after coming home. It was something I ordered from Smith's Toy Superstore's official website. I bet you it's going to be something Thomas and Friends All Engines Go, isn't it? Well, that's because you're correct. Cause... do you know who this engine is? It has a tender with 4 wheels on the back. With 4 wheels on its chassis. The front of the engine has 4 large wheels at the back and 4 little ones at the front. It has 1 splasher on each side, as in separate. Is painted blue, as I'm sure you already know, and has the number 2 on his tender. Do you know who it is yet? Of course, it's Edward. Hello, Edward. Yeah, that was just me doing a reference to those weird-ass learning segments from the original series. Anyways, now have a look at Edward in the box. The back is nothing really too special, in all honesty. It's just details we already know. And as you can see here, he has the new Metal Collection box, which was becoming relevant this year. The first one I saw was of a Gordon in Slough Smiths. And, truth be told, I'm not sure what to think of this. And there's a little dark blue corner there for an age limit of how kids should play it. No, I'm sorry. Please try and ignore that sentence. Or maybe I can try and refresh it but come up with something better. Like, it informs you how old you must be to play with this toy. And it's still got the CGI original Thomas logo. Truth be told, it's kind of irritating me. And as you can see here, this promo of Edward looks alright. Although, I do kind of find it funny how, look at Edward here, and Edward there. If you know the differences, let me know in the comment section, because I'm sure it's blatantly obvious what's different. Anyways, let's get Edward out the box. Come on, Eddie. Hold on. And here's Edward out the box. He looks absolutely stunning. This is a die-cast metal engine, all custom painted with no stickers. Here's his face. Kind of a different feel from all the other engines' faces. I mean, it's more matte than gloss. I'm literally surprised that they gave Edward a style that matches what he looked like in the original series. Still, surprising. Still got that ledge thing on his roof like Gordon and Henry have. His tender looks nice. And you can see under there's a special chassis and has his name, although the D there is a little scratched. Either way, this is a really nice model. He runs brilliantly on the track. And just to let you know, we've got Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and Emily making a guest appearance. That's right, folks, the Steam team is back together. Again. There we go. That's all the engines. Like a family portrait, huh? Get the others out. For many of you fans of All Engines Go, I'm sure you're already aware of this, but for some that are just getting started, I'll tell you about Edward. Edward made his debut in the Series 1 episode, The Dragon Run. He appeared in the scene along with Henry, where they were about to get hit by a runaway dragon on a flatbed, until Nia pulls the lever with her front wheel, rising quick drawbridge up, thus saving the two tender engines. It's way better than what happened with them during the Blobber era, like with Edward's last line being ouch and Henry barely getting any speaking lines. Anyways, Edward is like Henry, Edward is a non-speaking background cameo character in this show, unlike in the original series where he was a major character and part of the main cast in Series 8 until his removal in Series 21's A Shed for Edward, where initially a big yellow engine called Rebecca was to take his place in Tidmouth Sheds, and Henry would have remained in Tidmouth Sheds and the Steam team as a whole, and I think most likely Toby. But the last minute changes were in, Edward was replaced by Nia, Rebecca took Henry's position, who was written out in a very rushed manner, and Toby got absolutely fuck all. They didn't even do anything with him. Nothing. No send-off. Thus starting the confusion of if he was still in the Steam team or not. But now it's pretty clear that he isn't. Anyways, getting off topic. In the series, Edward is longer than James. And as you can see on this promo art, I'm probably going to give the answer away for the question I asked earlier away, aren't I? He has 4 splashes and 6 big wheels, 6 wheels at the back and 6 small ones at the front. I don't think any steam locomotive in real life has ever used this wheel configuration, and truth be told, it does look a little weird on him. Edward's model in the series is a modified version of Gordon's, apparently, but with some modifications, like the face and stuff. And anyways, Edward looks nice. You can see that his buffers aren't painted, common error, and even an inconsistency. On both ends, his buffers aren't painted, his wheels aren't detailed, also something inconsistent. Any more negatives I can paint? I don't know if it's me or his cab windows are too tall. Maybe it's just me. Edward runs brilliantly on push-along and motorised track. And he even works if you have another engine, motorised or push-along, pulling him. You can recreate your favourite stories from either the original show or the reboot series. Oh, and BTW, if you're wondering how high my hopes are for Edward and Henry speaking in future content, well, let's just say that my hopes will not be too high. I get it. Rick Savow is no longer working on the show, at least I think, and I think it's basically Mattel's decision or something for Edward and Henry speaking. Oh, and speaking of Henry, let's get him with Gordon. The 3 railway engines are back together again! Hooray! And since his appearance in non-speaking cameo appearance in the Dragon Run, Edward has continued to make frequent appearances. Well, except for Series 2 where he only appeared in For All the Marble. And that's it. Well, at least Series 3 is trying to fix this issue and have him appear more. Oh, and something else that I don't really like about Edward in this series is, in the episode No Power No Problem, he is seen fighting with Henry over who wants to go first through the crossing, even though it was broken. James and Diesel fighting I can sort of understand. Child abuse! Or maybe not. But for Edward, one of the wisest characters in the series? Okay. I don't know whether to say it's making Edward Strikes Out and Harvey to the Rescue look like masterpieces compared to this. I'm not sure. Anyways, the problem's solved when Carly lifts the gates up with her hook and lets the engines through. And he has a page in the Meet the Engines book that describes him as an old, wise engine with good manners. And like stories set in the past. I guess he could work for like a grandfather figure to the engines, like telling them old ancient stories. I would have loved to have seen that be carried over in future content. I mean, it's like in Day of the Diesels with the supposed personalities of Sydney and Paxton were then carried over when they got major appearances in the Brenner era. And I like this, especially in the case of Paxton. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, he also does not like being made fun of his age. Compare that to Toby. Well, classic Toby anyway. Classic Toby doesn't even give a shit about people teasing him for his age. I mean, see Mavis, see Dirty Objects, even see Emily Knows Best. Surprisingly, from an episode coming from the hit era, whoever decided to do this got Toby so fucking right. And I'm all here for it. Well, pity the same couldn't be said about Edward for that era, because they've made him into a pathetic wimp, especially in episodes like Saving Edward, Edward and the Mail, Steady Eddie, the list goes on. And sometimes it can be inconsistent, especially in Edward Strikes Out, where Edward was an absolute asshole to Rocky, and it was so uncalled for. Whoever wrote it, whoever decided to have Edward be an idiot. I'm sorry, I don't think even Christopher Audrey is pleased with this episode, because of how dirty they made it. how they made done Edward so dirty. Sorry for the stuttering. It's just sometimes I think of words to say at the last minute. Anyways, now that the Steam team is back together, let's couple them up. Thomas, Edward, Henry. Get it? Thomas 1, Edward 2, Henry 3. Oh man, I love that user.
And all my siblings
I
are
really
dead.
do.
I think.
His stories are absolutely hilarious and provide some of the best comedy. But anyways, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and Emily. Now that the Steam team's back together, let's have a party! Just like what Edward said once. Yes, I know. In the original episode, Edward never went somewhere far. But I'm using it here because, like, the Steam team were missing one of their members. And, of course, that's when Edward's arrival came into play. Uncouple the engines. There we are. And you can see the little bumps here on his chassis for the smaller wheels. It's pretty good. And truth be told, I'm not sure if I'll get a red permanent marker or pucker pen to draw another splasher, on the front, or just leave it as it is. I'll let you know what I feel like. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content, whether it's kiddie rides, toy reviews, or something else. Goodbye!